Hey guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. HR 127, we need to talk about that right now. In this episode, I'm going to get you up to date on HR 127. I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about it, what I'm doing about it, and I'm going to give you some resources and maybe some ideas on what you can do to help fight this thing as I go through all of this. It's going to get worse all the way to the end, where the worst point of this whole bill is it's bad. Like, the whole thing is bad. Unequivocally, some of the worst legislation we've ever seen. Buckle up, here we go. This episode is proudly sponsored by Shall Not Comply, non-compliance over at shallnotcomply.com. To each of y'all, thank y'all for crushing that thumbs up. A bunch of y'all have said that you play a game. Can you hit thumbs up before the music at the beginning ends? So that's kind of fun. Thank you for that. All right, sometimes because of voters, we have morons that are in charge of us. And some of y'all say, well, she's not in charge of me. Well, her decisions and this bill that she being Sheila Jackson Lee, of course it is, out of the 18th in Texas, has power over us potentially. If this bill goes through and she has authored it, Sheila Jackson Lee, moron, it would have instant consequences for all of us. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines and decades of imprisonment. That's not me being dramatic. Anytime we talk about this stuff, people hit me and they say, Johnny, you're just being slippery slope. No. HR 127, all of it is in the description. Click around, read it for yourself, and you're going to be unhappy too. It's bad. I can't say that enough or strongly enough. Maybe some of the worst gun legislation I've ever seen. Instantly, we would have national gun registration. Now, the idea, sometimes people say we need a registration to know who has those tools. That's bad in itself. However, this one's worse in that it's searchable. We can stop the entire bill right there. Hard no, hard pass. Searchable gun registry. So if you apply for a job, and this isn't a straw man, so stop it. This is not. This is reality. You apply for a job, somebody looks you up. Well, they can also jump over, look at your social media, look here, look there, and then jump over to the National Registry. Oh, she has a firearm. We're not hiring her. Oh, criminals can look at somebody's house, go by address. What do they have inside there? Oh, it's all typed out. National Searchable Registry. This is bad. Mandates also that you have to have a license to own or possess a Rudy Tooty point and shooty. And that license is bad. You have to be 21 instantly. Yeah, you can go at 18 and fight and die for your country, but you can't protect yourself until the age of 21. Also, you have to follow the money, y'all, $800 to the federal government for insurance. I don't even know what that means. 24 hours of training. I can have the conversation about training. I'm okay with that. Unless the federal government's in charge of overseeing it, mandating the training itself, they mess up everything they touch. So no, again, hard pass. We have to do a NICS check, already have to do that, and then have a psych eval. Now, a psych eval sounds good on paper. We don't want crazy people having Rudy Tooties, but we also don't want crazy people having a lot of stuff. Yet, who gets to decide who is crazy and not crazy? Not the federal government, and yet here we are. So, and don't chase that too far. All I'm saying is that, okay, maybe we can have a conversation, but not if the federal government's involved, because everything they touch, they mess up. So the licensing to own or possess is bad. Part of that psych eval, it has the federal government going and talking to our family and our friends. Multiple people, and they can say anything. So not good. How many of y'all want your family especially, having any say-so? Some of us have great families. Some of us, what a mess. Psychological eval, not good. This is a bad one. Also, anybody that has loaned out a Rudy Tooty to other people, that is also falls underneath this, and you got to turn that paperwork in. It's also retroactive. So if this goes through, anything you've loaned out in weeks past, months past, also falls underneath this. Who is the final authority on all of this? So who's going to oversee it? The ATF? Nope. Potentially, it looks like it's going to be the Attorney General designate. He's not been actually sworn in yet, but designate Merrick Garland. USA Today did an article on him just a few years ago saying how anti-gun is Merrick Garland? Extremely. So we have an extremist of anti-guns in charge and overseeing all of H.R. 127 should it pass. So it's not good. Also a license for all antique Rudy Tooties. So if you have something, I don't know, over the bar at the Winchester while you go downtown to have a pint and wait for this to all blow over, yeah, that individual that owns the Winchester has to have a license for that and training as well. Licensing and training to own any sort of weapon of war. It's bad, y'all. I'm telling you, this is bad. All right, I said all that. All of that's a hard pass. All of that's a hard no. Get out of here, Sheila Jackson Lee. And then we get to this one, and this is the one that hits all of us square between the eyes. It instantly criminalizes all magazines over how many? 10 rounds, which is literally almost every single magazine that is out there. Criminal, instantly, felony possession. Also criminalizes 50 cal or greater, so all of you Desert Eagle fans, done, gone, criminalized. That's not good. So the entire idea of this, and that's the bill in a nutshell, there's a few more little pieces in there. It's impossible. Imagine if this goes through, you now have hundreds of thousands, it's into the millions of people having to submit paperwork to the federal government. There's no rule, none of the details are worked out how they're going to oversee all this. So you have to submit all this paperwork, all this cash, and have multiple, 2, 3, 4 people from your background being interviewed. By who? We are talking about a massive impossibility. Write that one down. This one is impossible should it go through. It's now, the current bill has been referred to the House Committee on the Judiciary. And who's in charge of that committee? Well, there's a series of committees that are in the House Committee on Judiciary. Jerry Nadler, or Nadler, whichever one it is, Jerry, is now in charge of all of that. None of this is good. Now, you may say, Johnny, you're just blathering on. What do we actually do? Well, holler at your congressperson, congressman, congresswoman, talk to them, email them, let them know. If you are in their district, you can let them know. People from other districts can't holler at other congressmen and congresswomen. It's a little bit hard. The system kicks you out immediately if you're not in the right zip code. So holler at yours. If your congressperson happens to be on that committee, holler at them. That would be fantastic. Now, I talk about Patreon on here sometimes. Well, today, actually just about an hour ago, sat right over there at the computer and I made a donation with the Patreon money. And it was, I'm not going to tell you what it was, but it's significant. And at least I think it is. I humbly say I think it's a significant donation to the Firearms Policy Coalition. They are fighting this. And we don't just send money and let other people fight it, but they have the law teams to be able to work on this. So I made a donation on behalf of all the Patreon folks. You all, thank you for that. That's awesome. Those of y'all that were part of that, thanks. That's huge. So email, holler, be a part of the Firearms Policy Coalition if you can. Also, there's resources down below for you to check out, including that actual bill so you can read it for yourself. None of this is good. You are now up to date. When you know more, I will know more. To anyone that is against us or our ability to protect ourselves to own whatever tool we want to own from my cold, dead hands. Bye.